to the playoffs, where LeBron James and the Lakers are on the brink of elimination. The Thunder have a 3-0 lead heading into Game 4 tonight in Los Angeles. Sorry, Lakers fans, but teams with the 3-0 lead in a best-of-7 series are 161-0 in those series, and LA is 0-7 against Oklahoma City this year. On the scene in LA, we welcome in NBA reporter Dave McMenamin, who's covering the Lakers. So what is the team saying ahead of tonight's Game 4 as they try to avoid the sweep?
Christine, it's been more than a sweep already. If you think about the regular season, where they also won 4 straight games against the Lakers with an average of 29-point margin of victory. Austin Reaves called the Thunder a near-perfect team, but he said, that's no excuse. We just got to show up to Game 4, extend our season by getting a win. JJ Redick said that really it's about what we do in the second half. This series, the Thunder averaging a 19.7 margin of victory. 18 points of that margin is coming after halftime. And so the Lakers recognize that once they make it a game into the third quarter, they have to continue to take care of the basketball. They need to continue to rebound and keep the offensive boards players away. Guys like Isaiah Hartenstein, guys like Chet Holmgren. That's how they make this a game, and then they get their home court and their crowd behind them in the fourth quarter with a chance to stay alive.
Okay, so it goes from a broom to a mop, because all the Lakers fans will be crying if the season ends tonight. As the Lakers are on the brink of elimination, what are you hearing? Of course, the next question is about LeBron's future.
Yeah, Christine, I asked LeBron after Game 3, going into a potential elimination scenario in Game 4, do you guys acknowledge as a group that this could be the last time you guys ever go to work together as the group, as currently constructed? Because there's all sorts of contract things that will be in the works in the offseason. And he said, nope, we don't talk about that. We just focus at the task at hand. Now, the subtext when I was asking LeBron about that is really, what are you going to be doing? Are you thinking about your future? For the first time in his Lakers tenure, he's going to be entering in the offseason, whenever that begins, whether it's after Game 4, if they lose tonight, or later on in these postseason, that he will not have a contract or a contract option for the following season. Completely unrestricted free agent. And will, one, he decide he wants to continue playing? I would say there's been some clues that would suggest that he will. But beyond that, will he want to keep playing in Los Angeles, where he's played the last 8 years? And there's some major question marks whether this will be the right place for him to continue, if he intends to continue to compete for an NBA championship, based on what we're seeing in the result of this series.
You mentioned he's been in LA for 8 years. That 8-year stretch as a Laker is his longest continuous one with any run team, which is crazy to think about because he's been in the league for so long. David McMenamin from LA, thank you very much. This is the 6th time LeBron James has faced a 3-0 deficit in the playoffs. He staved off elimination 2 of the previous 5 instances. Now he looks to avoid the 4th sweep of his career. Good news for Lakers fans. LeBron James averages over 33 points in elimination games, which is the highest in NBA history. For more, here's Tony and Mike with PTI's bonus topic.
Teams that take a 3-0 lead in a best-of-7 are 161-0 in those series all time, and the Lakers are 0-7 against the Thunder this season. NBA reporter Tim MacMahon joins us now from L.A. The Thunder's Jalen Williams ruled out again tonight. How are they managing his hamstring injury?
Howdy, Hannah. Look, he's still week to week. The hope is that he will be able to come back at some point in the Western Conference Finals. And I was able to talk to J-Dub a little bit the other night. And the success the Thunder are having rolling without him does really kind of ease the pressure on him to rush back. This is not about pain. This is a guy who played the entire postseason last year, needing painkilling injections in his wrist that he knew was going to require surgery. This is about getting to a point where he is able to play. And he says his worry is never about the team. It's about putting himself in position where he can be himself once he gets back on the floor. Now, in the meantime, he's contributing in the film room, hyping up his teammates. And he's really enjoying watching A.J. Mitchell fill in for him in the starting lineup. A.J. Mitchell, one of the breakout stars of this postseason, is thriving in that fill-in starter role, especially considering he wasn't even in the playoff rotation last year as a rookie. This isn't a surprise to the Oklahoma City Thunder, though. You know, as Jalen Williams said, everybody on this team knows that he's good. You know, this is about the world finding out. And, you know, they are empowering this kid to play with confidence, to play freely. And you see the results with A.J. Mitchell averaging almost 21 points and 7 assists per game in this series.
Yeah, I mean, really, the Thunder haven't missed a beat offensively in these playoffs, even without J-Dub. Tim, Thank you.
Bring in our NBA reporter, Dave McMenamin, who is covering the Lakers. Dave, tonight could potentially be LeBron's final game of the season and his final game in purple and gold, set to become an unrestricted free agent. What can you share about LeBron's future?
Jay, I asked LeBron after Game 3, when you're facing an elimination game coming up, is there any acknowledgement from you and your teammates that this could be the last time this group has a chance to play with one another? They said, nope, we don't talk about it. We focus at the task at hand, which is obviously trying to extend this series by getting one win. Now, speaking to sources close to LeBron James all season long, they have insisted to me that LeBron has not figured out what he wants to do beyond this season. It starts with whether he wants to play, period. I would say that all of the clues, basically from the All-Star game onward, is that he will continue to play NBA basketball. But will it be in Los Angeles? Tim Bontemps and I wrote a story about 6 weeks ago laying out all the options. There's 5 or 6 teams you could viably see him going to next year. The Lakers, if they are swept here, will have to convince LeBron, I would say, on some level, that we have a plan in place here for you to come back and compete for a championship. Because Shams Charania had Rich Paul tell him last June when LeBron opted in that at this stage of his career, that is the number one thing that is guiding his decisions, being able to compete for a championship in whatever time is left of his career.
LeBron's 8 years as a Laker, by the way, the longest continuous stretch with any one team. Go back to what you were just saying. Dig into what conversations you think could happen internally if after a possible, what looks like it's going to be an early playoff exit for LeBron and the Lakers.
Well, they're going to have to figure out what this roster looks like, right? If they are losing to the defending champs, a team that is so deep that they can have A.J. Mitchell fill in for Jalen Williams, who was an all-star this year, and not skip a beat in the conference semifinals, when you can have Jared McCain one game coming off the bench, Isaiah Joe another game coming off the bench being the difference maker, when you can have Chet Holmgren and Isaiah Hartenstein punishing you on the inside while the MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, is actually having a subpar series, but it doesn't matter. You're still winning by 20 points a game. That tells you that you are more than just missing Luka Doncic away from competing with them. And so even if you figure out a way to re-sign LeBron and re-sign Austin Reaves, you got to work on the depth of this roster. And I think the conversations that need to be had is, what will we be able to piece together, whether it be through trade with some of these first-round picks that we have available to us, or whether it be through the draft, or even talent development, guys like Adu Thero and Bronny James, getting them better over the summer to help us have a deeper bench to compete in a playoff series. And if you're going to want LeBron to take a pay cut, you got to tell him why. We want you to take X so we can go get Y with that amount of dollars. That is going to be the conversations going on.
Lots to discuss. Dave McMenamin, thank you so much, sir. Appreciate it. Well, LeBron has faced his fair share of elimination games, going 15-14 in them in his career. His last 6, however, his teams have gone 1-5, even with LeBron averaging 25 points and nearly 7 boards in those games. Our NBA analyst and LeBron's former teammate, Kendrick Perkins, back with us. All right, LeBron and the Lakers enter tonight as underdogs for the 4th straight time this series. How do they keep their season alive for at least one more game? And you laughing already.
Well, I mean, because as expected, they came into this game as the underdogs.
Yeah.
I mean, because, look, they just don't have enough. But I'm looking at one guy in particular, and that's Austin Reaves. He is auditioning, in my opinion. And what happened last game was that they were searching him out defensively and picking on him. He has not had an Austin Reaves-type moment to show the Lakers that, hey, our future is extremely bright if we build around you and Luka Doncic. And so if I'm Austin Reaves, look, I want him to get paid, but we know in a market like LA, it's all about championships and nothing else, no in between. And so when I'm looking at what he's displaying, offensively, he's crying, he's having trouble with OKC athleticism, and I want Austin Reaves to do well. But damn it, what he's been displaying throughout the course of this postseason, if I'm the Lakers, I got to rethink things and say, hey, man, is this really a guy that I'm going to invest max money into to play alongside Luka that's going to take me to the promised land? My answer is no.
He did have a career-high 9 assists, but he turned the ball over 5 times. That wasn't good. So, yeah, he's got to show something.
So he had 4 assists.
Yeah, so yeah. I see what you did there.